league. Now and we've got a pretty similar banning phase coming in from both teams, Kendo.
Ah, yes, indeed. You gotta love a very similar ban phase. And I mean, for obvious reasons, we've talked about how good some of these players are on their characters. No surprise from Degenerates Ascension, you have yet again the Aurelia. You don't want to have the Aurelia at any point in time in the hands of Ted Garcia. You don't do that ever. You do not want the J4 in the hands of Wasp, who I'm pretty sure underwent a name change. That way people would stop banning J4 against him. So like, it kind of makes sense. I don't blame him at that point, but your win rate is obscene, almost averaging 20 assists every single game on J4. That is nuts. And you definitely do not want to see the zigs from Pony Goat. So it's all pretty stinking standard. Opposite side, of course, nobody wants the Sivir. Nobody wants to see that Seraphine, and LeBlanc a little bit interesting as well. So it's no surprise that we see no changes. And we are seeing some interesting pickups here early on. I like the Scion. We have a Senna as well. I really have not liked Senna, though, with the new meta since the Tom Kench changes.
I mean, you pick up the Scion, which, okay, that's a pretty easy top lane that you can give to Gildo. He should be able to be okay with that one, regardless of what he goes into. He's just big meatball. He's just fine. We'll be able to at least come out of any sort of laning phase against any top laner pretty decently. But at the other end of this rift, that leaves the door open for DAO to pick up the Trundle. You know, take the two best junglers in the league out of the hands of Degenerates, and now you got them both. And then on top of that, you're able to get a Tristana as well. There's just so much that Divine Ascension has been able to build here already in this draft. Brand's gonna come through. Now that could be potentially a support brand with the Senna in a fasting Senna situation, or August can play that one and rock the fiery devil himself.
I like that. Throw a brand with a fasting Senna. That is something that is refreshing to me. I am looking forward to that potentially being the case. As you said, could be a mid lane flex pick, but let's all just be honest. Senna is best when she is not eating, because you get the soul so much faster. That sounds just really, really bad, Moose. But fasting Senna really is the best Senna in my mind.
And they're thinking, and I think Divine Ascension is also thinking that it is going to be a brand in the bottom lane. They are banning out a lot of mid lane champions against August. The Akali and the Victor are getting taken out. Meanwhile, that Yasuo, who was so potent for Ted Garcia, for Teddy in game 2, is going to be taken away. It does mean that Degenerates does get their last pick. They are able to counter with what they want to go for. They have to see what the last two picks are here for DAO. But at this point, you know, there's so much flexibility that Degenerates is, or that DAO is able to go for, that this Tristana can go bottom lane, can go mid lane. This Trundle could go jungle, top lane, or support. The Xin Zhao maybe goes top lane and jungle. Not entirely sure yet. We will find out in just a moment as Volibear is picked up for Dusk.
That's a tanky boy over here. Degenerates Ascension looking very, very solid. You just based a draft off of 4 picks. I like what I'm seeing thus far. You don't, however, in the vein coming through. I like the idea here. Make sure there's some scaling insurance as well as something to mow down those tanks.
Great, interesting pickups, but great pickups, I would say, coming in from DAO. That Nico is going to be the target here. And now the Nico probably going to be playing in support, which would put Xin Zhao in the jungle, with then Trundle in the top lane, Tristana then in the middle. And that is going to be a tough battle for August to have to go up against Void. Extremely potent here in the league with these sort of marksman junglers or marksman mid laners that we've seen. They're going to counter it with a pretty decent control. Oh no, they are going completely the opposite direction, and they're going to pick up the Anivia as their last pickup.
Okay, I'm trying to understand the mentality here, because I really liked the idea of having the Syndra there, but instead we have the Anivia. Yes, the wall can have a lot of utility, but in my opinion, you're just giving Vayne something else to pin someone against.
Yeah. That's the rough part of this one, though, is, whether or not Crystallize will be used effectively by August. Now, there could be some shenanigans coming afoot. This could be Anivia support with the Senna bottom lane. I don't know for sure. Like, obviously, we don't know until we actually get into it. But I am expecting that it is Anivia for August, and then Kawhi is going to be playing as that brand. It's a it's a ranged matchup here in the bottom lane. The Volibear, if he's able to get in against this Vayne in the early game, could really shut her down. Could be really good for Degenerates if they are able to find those early picks.
Yes, indeed. But folks, it's starting to get late. That's right. It is starting to get very late. We're in that midnight hour, and there is nothing better at the midnight hour for you to enjoy then.
Is it AM grind?
Actually, it's chalky milk. I prepared myself a little bit going forward, but my favorite drink to make sure that I am enjoying myself when the time does come. That being said, my second favorite is 100% AM grind. Moose, I want you to understand something. I'm the type of young man who really does like a little bit of coffee with his sugar. So what do? I take my chalky milk. And I put preferably decaf AM grind within the chalky milk, and I have a mocha flavor that is so good to the taste buds, as well as all the energy that I could ever need. But again, if it's decaf, it's just coming from the sugar. I'm not sure you want to see me when I am 100% unleashed. You can 100% unleash yourself today with AM Grind. Definitely check them out. You gotta use that code Excellency for the 10% off of your order, sourced from all over the place, reasonably as well as sustainably. AM Grind, definitely give them the checkout whenever you can, because it's so good.
All right, Kendo. Great pickup there. I love the energy for AM Grind. Thank you so much for what you're doing. But we got to talk about how this draft actually played out. It is going to be Vayne in the top lane for Ted Garcia. Void, known to play well as that Nico. I completely forgot about it. I was looking at the stats. Nico played by Void in the mid lane, going to go up against that Anivia, which means it's a Tristana Trundle bottom lane to go up against the Senna brand. Okay. I do like that quite a bit, because the Vayne, my personal experiences with Vayne in the top lane have never gone well, but again, I'm a brainless Tryndamere top laner. It does not go very well for me when I have to do anything more than right click. Give me a dash? No, I can't do it. You give me a roll, a duck? No, I can't do that either. You give me something that procs every 3 hits? That boggles my mind. I can't count to 2. That being said, in the hands of one Ted Garcia, this could go a very on who objectively could go down in health with each third proc. Yeah, those silver bullets are going to be coming in clutch in the top side of the Rift. You got the Volibear, you got the Scion in the early game. Vayne, not really the most noticeable contribution here in the top lane in terms of early game potential that the Vayne is able to get. But if the Vayne is able to win out in the top lane against Gildo, make it so that the health that the Scion has and the potential for him to really be potent here in the mid to late game is minimized. At least there is definitely a lot of potential for DAO to have a really strong game yet again. Nico, played by Void, is going to be looking to be able to use that intangibility into her into that Pop Blossom to be able to get a multi-man stun and potentially just obliterate the bottom side of the Rift. The Sanivia, the center of the brand, don't have a lot of health when they're just, you know, put all together. The sum of the health that all three of those champions have is probably still less than what Sion's gonna have at the end of the game. So definitely interesting to see what Void is gonna be able to bring to the table. Pony playing as a pretty safe ADC. Bixis, I mean, that is the big question for me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very excited to see what Bixis is going to be able to do here as the Senna. Will he be able to get those souls early on? Will he be able to scale into the mid game?
I do like the bot lane there, because the brand with the Starving Senna most likely is going to be exactly what we see. And that, in my opinion, is brilliant, because Bran as a support is down there to steal your kills and make sure it's getting its own soul harvest, usually a dark harvest of the extremely red variety. They're going to be floating everywhere. You combine that with Senna, that is going to be a very soul-y bot lane. I'm more curious on whether or not someone is going to get condemned into a Nivea wall. That, I think, is going to be the play of the entire day for me if it does happen. Over, under, 1.5. I'm actually going to go over. I think we see Teddy pull it off twice.
Okay, well, we'll find out here in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break before we jump into game number 3, and we'll be right back before you know it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Light League, folks. My name is Mr. Moose, and I am joined by Kendo Slice, and we are in game number 3 between Divine Ascension Obsidian and Degenerates Ascension Kendo. It has been a wild day here today, and I'm excited to see how it's going to play out.
And we are getting a little bit of antics between the two teams right there in the mid lane. Gotta love it. And we haven't seen too much troll dancing in the mid lane today, which is kind of disappointing in my book, because normally you have it all day long.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it is a fact.
No shenanigans this time around, though. So you can tell I'm kind of saddened by this, and I'm hoping for more shenanigans down the road. Won't be in the realm of invades, but I can live without it. DAO and Degenerates Ascension gonna be going at each other. Moose, I'm excited.
Oh man, no, it's always good. I love to see it. And I'm super pumped to see whether or not we are going to get a good day and a good game for Degenerates. This is a bit of an interesting lineup, I would say, coming through for the majority of all these champions. And we're going to see whether or not they will be able to get to that mid game again. Trying to scale, trying to be able to use that effectively. It's just going to be rough already seeing the pressure as we get those massive procs in the mid lane against August.
Folks at home, make sure you avert your eyes. There are flashes on your screen right now, and Kawhi may just go down. The first blood is going to be for Ponygo, and that is not a good start for Degenerates.
No, that is not the start that you want to have. You do not want to give any sort of early kills over to a Tristana, and especially not Pony Goat. I mean, meanwhile, look at the top lane as well. Gildo is not having a fun time. CS advantage right now for Ted Garcia, just continuing to keep that pressure going. And that is rough to see. You've already technically had 2 kills here. One on the Anivia, who died earlier on, and then now on to a Kawhi as well. That is bad news bears for sure, and we'll have to see what the Tristana decides to go for. Picking up the Hail of Blades here in this game, but it does look like we are getting a mid lane fight. It is going to be a lot of damage onto the Volibear, but KGB will end up going down. It is going to be that Crystallized to be able to deny any sort of further advancement there. The root is going to land onto the Anivia, though. Not going to go for the kill.
Not quite, but we have seen some interesting fireworks back and forth between these two teams thus far, and I think it's gonna get all the more spicy as time goes on. A big kill on to Wasp, as Wasp is someone who does like to try to get ahead as soon as possible. It's gonna be all Volibear all the time in the early game as far as the jungle battle goes, and here he comes.
All right, looking to be able to maybe find something here against Void, but he does have the protection of Wasp, KGB in the area. So the Xin Zhao actually might be looking to go in for the counter initiation here. A little bit of damage on to the Volibear, but no committing into an actual fight just yet. Wind Becomes Lightning actually landing on to August, and he will have to flash away. So a good play coming in from Divine Ascension.
The double stun would have been golden, but I like that move just due in part to the fact that Duskfisk is able to spend more time disrupting Wasp in the early clear. It has a level on him already, and if they are able to continue that advantage, the jungle gap may mount itself into a canyon.
Well, I mean, in terms of the actual lead that we see, we get a little bit of a gank. Oh no, unfortunate that the stun misses for Dusk. Wasp is about to be level 4, just about a half a level behind, so that is something. And that priority with now Void having to go back does give Degenerates essentially the first dragon of the game. On top of that, Gildo is down here as well, looking to be able to make sure that they are able to confirm this first dragon. A lot of damage onto Gildo, but there is no way that they're going to be able to lose that one. Nicely done. Actually, pardon me, that was a Volibear in the paint. It's going to be the Cloud Drake secured for Degenerates.
And what a change. The early priority completely on the dragons. Debilitate DAO on the dragon side, and you will do work. Teddy continuing to bully Gildo here in the top lane with the condemn against the wall. Gildo, it's going to be a rough one for you, buddy, unless you can find your way into an unwarded brush.
But remember as well, you know, Gildo really committed to that play, wanted to make sure that they were there for that dragon fight, committed the teleport to getting back to the lane, which just makes it even harder for the rest of the Degenerates to be able to play around the map here in this early game. Teddy, with the TP advantage, gonna be something that they could potentially look to use here in a moment. But I mean, regardless of Degenerates being able to get that first dragon of the game, you expect that because they've got the Volibear. The longer that this game goes on, the more threats that DAO has that might be able to give them the big advantage moving into the 15-20 minute mark.
Yes, indeed it will, as they have set themselves up extremely well here going into what will be a very soon Rift Herald battle. They have the vision, they have the priority in the top lane, most likely all day long, and we may have ourselves a battle in the bot lane.
A little bit of back and forth coming in from Bix's Kawhi. Pony and Corey JJ, but nothing too crazy just yet.
Oh,
Volibear in the top lane. Dusk looking to be able to get that kill on Subble. Onslaught does not land. Final Hour is going to be there. And it's a lot of damage, but a great use of the tumble from Ted Garcia. That was an amazing gymnastic effort there, being able to avoid the slow and makes that effort in vain for Degenerates.
I like the wordplay there. Got 2 ults out of it as well from what I saw. So that is brilliant stuff. No, excuse me, just 1 ult. Dusk did not go all in on that one. But ult for ult, avoiding death, and you still have a little bit of priority. As long as you can keep things going there in the top lane. Gildo, much needed reprieve. We'll finally get it back and update those stonks.
Well, I mean, that's what you got to do when you are playing as the Volibear. You need to be able to keep that pressure going. Your productiveness moving throughout the game dwindles to a very minimal nuisance in the early stage or in the later stages of the match, as we get to see Wasp is actually taking the initiative to go for this Rift Herald, and it is not spotted out by August or by Dusk. I mean, he will be able to use Stormbringer to take the kill onto Teddy. And so with that being said, with the scary situation that could bring, KGB gonna have to disengage on that dragon fight. However, or on that Rift Herald fight. But now we look to see whether or not the bottom lane will work out for DAO. It's gonna be the resets all day for this Tristana as Pony Goat gets a double kill and extends his lead.
No trolling here, folks. It is a brilliant exchange, and Corey JJ is going to start looking to influence the rest of the map. I want to give credit where credit is due, though. Gildo has done an excellent job. However, is going to get condemned against the wall. Just going to be able to try to walk this one off. And then back and forth. August going to go down into egg form. Will they be able to escape? Not. Yes! Not quite, however. Wasp is there to confirm the kill.
Nicely done. This might get to be used by Dust to try to be able to survive, but no, it's the Pillar of Ice coming through from Corey JJ, securing yet another kill here for Divine Ascension Obsidian. Yes, Dusk is able to get the early neutral or the early Rift Herald and claim another neutral objective, but they lose so much for it across the Rift that it wasn't really worth it.
not really worth it in this bot lane, is gonna start looking more and more desperate. We're seeing the disparity between the Tristana and the Senna brand. Not going with the starving Senna setup, I might add as well. I'm not sure if there's a disservice done in this case, because I expressed I love the starving Senna setup. More souls, more damage, more range. Yes, you don't get as much levels on your ADC, but you're not going to be getting those levels anyway. You're going up against a stinking Tristana. So you have DAO working the priority side of things. They are most likely going to get this Infernal Drake as well as keep the pressure in the river. And this is what DAO does best.
Void actually looking to go for the Pod Blossom, gonna get stunned right under tower. Wind becomes lightning into the audacious charge. It's gonna be Void being able to survive, but Wasp will go down. But will he be able to stay alive for long as we get Bixus now in the area, securing the kill onto the Curious Chameleon? Unfortunately, gonna end up getting a little bit too far forward. However, now maybe a little bit of an overcommittal coming in from the rest of Degenerates as we get Bixus going down. Will be Corey JJ barely being able to survive that one.
I really don't like that commit, though, out of Void, because you normally expect Void to be very careful. Again, this is the player that has the least amount of deaths in the league per game. That was so uncharacteristic, and they are going to borderline lose this mid turret for it.
Well, they do lose 4 turret plates already here at the 12-minute mark. I mean, it just needs a little bit of extra oomph for them to be able to secure the first turret of the game. Meanwhile, though, I mean, Gildo has not been paying attention to his top lane. He is now 19 CS behind, has given 3 turret plates over to Ted Garcia. I want to point out, though, the 4-0-0 Pony Goat, 107 CS. This is not a fasting Senna coming in from Bixus. He is not being able to keep up with Pony at this point. And now, you know, that's already a Kraken Slayer getting taken here as we see another fight in the mid lane. Pop Blossom not going to land from Void, and everyone gets to keep their life.
At this point, I may be wrong in my prediction as we see yet another one going down in the bot lane. Pony Goat is the GOAT, as this has been continued dominance all the way across the rift. Kawhi most likely going to go down here. The pillar will go up. When we come fighting, coming in. Wasp has the opportunity. Might be going too far for this, though, and will be forced to disengage.
Very, very ambitious play coming in from KGB, from Wasp, to be able to try to potentially get that kill onto Kawhi, but will be just fine. However, we are getting another play coming through. That teleport's going to get canceled from August as he tried to go in onto the tower. Did not work out for him. He could have gone for that ward, and instead will lose that teleport. And that big objective now, it's going to be the kill onto Kawhi from Pony, being able to make it a 1-for-1 as Wasp did go down. However, August will be able to take the kill onto Void in the mid lane, making it a 2-for-1 in favor of Degenerates. Rocket jump for Pony Goat. He's gonna go godlike, and he's looking for more. This time Corey JJ doesn't survive, but it's just now more kills. A feast for the earth in favor of Pony Goat as he gets himself a triple kill and is now legendary.
I wanted to be complimentary, but there is no time for it, and Dusk is desperately trying to avoid getting run down by Teddy as things becoming more and more drastic, more and more dire as we get later and later in this game. 14 minutes, borderline 15 minutes in, we have seen a slew of kills, more than a kill a minute, back and forth between these two teams. I like to liken a lot of things to Rocky movies, because you get to the point where it's just no blocking. It's all haymakers being thrown, and right now DAO look like they have the better throw.
I mean, Pony Goat is now 8-0-0.
Yeah.
132 CS, 2 items and boots. Is an item and boots above Bixus at this point. And you can't do much against that now. I mean, rapid fire cannon is activated, so that extra range that Pony already gets with the added levels is going to continue to be there. And really just having a play-making performance coming in for Divine Ascension Obsidian. I was worried about this bottom lane. I was very curious to see what Bixus was able to do, and so far he has not been able to do too much, as we do get to see another play here, maybe in the bottom lane. Dragon is spawning. It is a Mountain Soul here today. We are getting the teleport coming in from Teddy. We get the Wind Becomes Lightning, gonna land on a Kawhi. Beautiful Crescent Guard to be able to disengage the rest of the team. Pony is gonna go legendaries. He looks to be able to get a kill. He will be able to take one, but now he's looking for more. It's a double kill for Ted Garcia. He will survive. No, he won't. He will go down, and it is yet another slaughter in favor of Divine Ascension Obsidian. All 5 members of Degenerates go down, and they pick up the dragon.
This is going downhill fast, and the ones that you did not want to get those kills got all 5 of them. 3 on the side of Pony Goat, and Teddy was able to do work for 2. At this point, the entire comp is coming and reaching its full form, its final potential. We may just see a Rift Herald into a very early inhibitor threat.
I mean, at this point, I mean, even then, like, KGB, well, Wasp is waiting. I keep on calling him KGB. I'm just going to call him KGB. That's what I remember him by.
That's fine.
But, you know, KGB is saying, hey, you know, I'm just going to start the Rift Herald. We're going to give it over to the rest of DAO to add even more objectives here in this one. So going to be able to use that potentially to threaten, like you said, a mid lane or just a push across the Rift. Teddy, I think, getting a little bit too ahead of himself. Final hour will get used, but he will not be able to dodge that knockup, and he will die. It's going to be a shutdown over to Gildo. It is a kill, Kendo, but
yeah,
I mean, 1 kill and a 6,000 gold lead. They've got a big mountain to climb.
Yeah, then it's not like the Vayne is going to lose any advantage in CS here. Yes, you're going to see a little bit back on the side of Gildo. But you know what? Every little bit, one minute thing at a time will be the difference here, and they need to start one objective at a time. We're starting to see the lanes shifting. Pony and Corey JJ looking to get more influence over the top of the Rift, and just all the way across you're seeing the vision once again. Signature DAO river control has been the power, and Dusk is going to most likely go down. This is Corey, has all the speed in the world, is able to put everything down. This is overkill. Somebody call an ambulance.
And unfortunately, it is not going to be for anyone other than Dust Fisk. The Volibear will fall, trying to go in on his red buff. I mean, he has no control of this top side of the jungle. Wherever Pony Goat is, the power and spear of influence that he has is just phenomenal at this point. Like, there's really not anywhere that's safe here in the top side of the Rift. Well, Pony Goat is there. Sobble Onslaught going to be used by Gildo, but it's actually, I don't know if it get hit by the turret there. But it doesn't work out. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it is going to be KGB being able to take a tower there. There's that inhibitor getting spawned. We got Teddy in the bottom lane looking to be able to go for turrets as well. Rocket Barrage, or I'm sorry, not Rocket Barrage, Buster Shot, not going to be able to take the kill onto Gildo just yet. Look at the damage from Pony Goat. He will go down. It will be at least a kill for Degenerates, but they lost so much of their structures for it.
I mean, how different would this game be? And I know I'm being hypothetical at this point, Moose, but how different would this be if the brand was the one getting the CS? If the Senna was the one getting a large majority of the souls because they went with that starving Senna strategy? I know it's outdated. I know a lot of people just use it with Tom Kench, but it's still viable at this moment. And I thought that we were going to get to see it in quite possibly the most perfect form you could possibly get out of it. Instead, it's just been lackluster. We finally see Brand convert on a kill. I hesitate to want to see where the Dark Harvest stacks currently are for Bran, let alone where Senna's souls count is. It's just nerfing the potential of the two characters in this circumstance.
Well, I can tell you actually, Kawhi is at 6 stacks of Dark Harvest, Kendo. Bixis
Mercy.
at 42 stacks on that soul, or on those souls gathered. And to answer your question, Kendo, I mean, they both have died a majority of the deaths here for Degenerates. They are 9 deaths in total. The rest of the Rift is 7 in terms of August, Fisk, and Gildo. I mean, right now it's pretty much just Ponygoat having a field day. I don't think it would have mattered whether or not Kawhi got those got the CS or not, because it's not going to be that big of a soul difference for Big Sis just yet. Not going to be able to get that massive range advantage until later on in the match. And so, would it have made much of a difference? It's speculation. I don't think that it would have. I still think that Ponygoat and Corey JJ would have still had a phenomenal game, as they look to be able to potentially get themselves the dragon here. It will be Wasp being able to take that dragon, and now they're looking for the kills on top of that. That Condemn is going to take down Kawhi, and the rocket jump to be able to get Boney another kill on a Vixis. Yes, August will be able to secure a kill onto Wasp, but it will not be enough. He will end up going down yet again. On top of that, Teddy survives, picks up the triple kill. It's an ace in favor of Divine Ascension.
And this could borderline be the end of the game. They most likely will be working the inhibitor turrets here and taking everything in their path while they are at it, or just go straight to Baron and ensure yourself the opportunity to fully manage the bases. This has been really good from DAO. They are continuing to make the patient plays. They are controlling the map, and desperate times are well beyond what we are seeing here on the Rift for Degenerates Ascension.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to take game 1 at least, but it is now a 10,000 gold lead, with Baron getting annihilated here, with Ponygoat being able to take his position. He's not even going back. He's 14-1-2. He's got a stopwatch. He's got Lord Dominic's. He's got the rapid fire cannon. I mean, this is as scary as it can come, and he just, oh my word, erases the ice chick in there and goes on a killing spree. Literally 3 shots and it's dead. Anivia's gone off the Rift.
You listed a laundry list of entire things that you had from Ponygoat, and you missed the Anivia without passive, and that is a tragedy that we are yet to behold again. If August puts himself in that situation again, you may find himself without the passive yet again in the top lane. So we're seeing the push, but you know this is a losing battle at this point. Pony is just too large. You're going to have to get some sort of pick to have a hope. Dragon is coming in 2.5 minutes. That Baron buff is going to be lethal and good for at least 2 Interpreter turrets. And this is not the challenge that they want to go in. Gildo will go in, however, nonetheless. It is a 5v5 now. Here's Teddy doing so much damage on the front line. And after the front line, there's nothing left. It's blood and guts. It's Degenerates Ascension descending on the Rift.
And through all of that, Ponygoat survives. Beautiful use of the stopwatch that he had to be able to get the kill, or to be able to survive that play. Massive performance coming through from Divine Ascension Obsidian. This composition coming in from Degenerates just never worked out, and it ends up being a dominant victory here today for Divine Ascension. They take 2 wins and the set 2-1 against Degenerates, and this is a 25-minute game, a very quick, obliterating victory here for Divine Ascension. Congratulations to them off the back of a beautiful Tristana play coming in from Pony Goat.
I'm looking in the chat right there. DAO Pony, more like DAO Goat. There's a reason both of the names are in there, my friend. And Pony will once again show goatness on the Rift. DAO managing to pull off the series victory after falling early to Degenerates Ascension in game number 1, which we didn't get the chance to see. I'm going to be honest. The VOD, the replay on demand, that's going to be in my downloads before the end of the night. That's one to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very curious to see how that ended up playing out for him. I haven't checked the match history, so I have no idea how it actually did play out and how they were able to make it happen. We're going to see if we can get a Pony Goat interview coming through. It does look like that is what the chat wants. So gonna take a quick break before we get into that one, and then we're gonna see if we can get Pony Goat coming through. We'll be right back.